Okay, hello, you are back with another episode of Vitamin E, and today I will be talking about inductions and C-sections and just all of that. I've been meaning to drop these two videos for a while and just now getting down to it. So, about inductions, the things that you hear about inductions when the doctor has tells you, hey, you're gonna need to be induced. You need to be induced. That's the only way that this is gonna work. Mm, we have to start questioning our doctors the same way we question everything else. We question people, we question our friends, we question our parents, we question everything except our doctors. When it comes down to our doctors, we're like, yeah, doctor knows best. That's not right all the time. Now, don't get me wrong, there are some doctors that love you and actually care about your health, but there are a lot that really don't care because you're another patient. They're worried about your money. Are you going to pay them? And what they can get out of you and convince you that you have so that you will spend more money, which will go to them. Okay? So, let's get down into that. So, inductions. So, I've heard, oh yeah, you're going to have to be induced because your baby's too big. I've also heard you're going to have to be induced because you're going past your due date. Like, yeah, I've heard all that. So, the thing that's wrong with the first thing is, oh, your baby's too big. Those machines that they use, yeah, they're not accurate. That's a guess. That's an estimate. So they're either too much or too low. That means your baby is probably not as big as they're saying that your baby is. Even with that, people have 10-pound babies vaginally. 10-pounders vaginally. Okay? Yeah, that's a big baby, but they have them vaginally. And most of them I've heard of are at home. Okay? So let's get into that a little bit deeper. So they're always saying, oh, well, the head's not going to fit. Oh, this, and this. Well, actually, your baby head, what it does is it molds. Our baby's bones are not like our bones. Newborns' bones is why you have to be so careful with them. Their bones are mostly made of cartilage. And cartilage is, of course, what's in our ear. That helps them bend and constrict the way they need to get out of your birthing canal. That is what happens. Even their head. A lot of babies come out with their heads in like a cone shape. That is because the head will mold to do what it needs to do to get out of your body. When I tell women that their bodies were built for this, I literally mean it. I'm not making no jokes. I'm not doing anything like that. Your body is literally meant to do it. Everything works together so that your baby will come out. Like literally. There's something in your body called a fundus, and your fundus is literally pushing on your baby. It's sending everything in your body, is sending signals back up and down your body, telling you when it's time for your baby to come out. It's telling you when they need to push your body out. The fundus actually is something in your body that pushes on the baby to push it down. Now, that is what I'm talking about. Everything in your body works together to get your baby out. So there's really not such thing as a too big baby because your body's going to do what it needs to do. If you believe and trust in your body's going to do what it needs to do to get your baby out. Now, people are like, well, what about if my baby gets stuck? Babies get stuck at the shoulders. All of that. Well, that's actually called, I can't say the word. I don't even really know what the word is, but I know what it is. It's like a syndrome where your baby's shoulders will get stuck, but that happens in 7% of women. That's very, very small. Now, I'm going to do another representation for you because people are like, well, my baby's head got stuck. The baby's head is too big. I had to rip because the head was too big. Okay. You're in a hospital, right? You're laying on your back, right? So this is what happens. This is a representation of your cervix. So when you're laying on, this is your cervix when you're straight up. So you see how it's narrow. It still can fit through, but when you lay back, you see how it closes. So that means your baby is pushing against a closed pelvic structure. Your pelvis even grows while you're pregnant so that your baby will still have enough room to get out. So again, big babies, I don't know. So this is what happens when you're lying on your back. You're closing your cervix, you're closing your pelvic area up, you're closing all of that, which is going to make it harder. It's going to make a smaller space for your baby to come out. which is why you're supposed to either be on a ball where you're open, or you should be, on all fours. So this is what it looks like when you're on your back. This is when it's straight, and this is what happens when you're leaning forward or on all fours, or at least just, moving around, bending forward. The best way to be when you're in labor is literally bending forward, because this is what your body is doing. This is what your cervix and everything is doing when you're bending forward. It's open. You see how big that is, how open that is. Your baby gonna be able to come out of this compared to this, and definitely compared to this. Your baby is gonna be struggling, which is why you're putting yourself in so much more pain when you are on your back. You're not supposed to be on your back. Not only are you making it harder for your baby to come out, you are pulling muscles, you're laying on major arteries. So many things are happening that are not supposed to be happening during labor, okay? And I can't get all the way into that because it's another video I have coming up, but I'm gonna get into that. So yeah, and then your baby coming later than what it's supposed to be. Now, don't get me wrong, babies can stay in there a little long. And I know moms were like, oh, I'm ready for my baby to come out. I'm ready to get induced. Your baby knows when it's supposed to come, okay? I've said that before. I've said that so many times. Your baby knows when it's supposed to come. Well, my baby came premature. Were you stressed out? Because babies will not stay in a place where they feel is dangerous. They will leave, okay? So if your baby came 3 months before it's supposed to, first of all, see what you were eating, and then see how your mental life was, which is why I tell people they need to get a doula, a midwife, somebody that's going to help them with their mental, physical, emotional, all that. Because if all of that's not in line, your baby is going to be premature. Your baby is going to come out before it's time, because the baby kicking itself out, because it's like, hey, it ain't even safe up in here. I'd rather be out there. So yes, you start having contractions. Yes, you go into labor before it's time, because you've made your body not a safe space for your child. That's literally what can happen. And also staying in there long. There's no such thing as a due date. We like to call it a due month, because around that time, the baby is going to be done growing. But a due date, that's really like, that's being a little pushy, because they're estimating a gestation. They're guessing when you got pregnant, and then they're gonna guess when your due date is. That's not always true. Women sometimes go 42 weeks after their due date. It's a due month. It's a due month, okay? That's what I'm talking about. Then not only, because I said I was gonna talk about C-sections as well. I honestly hate even discussing them, because they're just so. But even they will tell you your baby's too big and you have to have a C-section. You know how hard it is to have a C-section? Because even breastfeeding is going to be hard, and you might not even be able to do it. You're not going to be able to move after. You're not going to be able to do any of that, because your body actually, your uterus actually contracts while you're breastfeeding, because it helps everything try to tone itself back up. But you've had a major surgery on your abdominal area, your stomach area, which is way worse than doing it vaginally. It's just an unnecessary surgery, and doctors get paid bands, like big bands, for that, and that's not okay, because they are doing too many C-sections. That's a proven fact, that they're doing too many C-sections that they do not need to be having. Y'all have to hound these doctors, ask them questions, and they probably gonna get mad at you, but it's best to know what you're getting yourself into before you do it. And then people are just like, I can't do home births. I can't do home births. How do you know that? Because what has happened is Hollywood and all these other people that were not doing it right are telling you, oh, it's going to be the worst thing, and you're like, oh, you're going to be in so much pain, oh, you're going to be doing this, you're going to be doing this, it's going to be horrible, you're not going to be able to live without medicine. And we've put that into our mind, and so we're thinking that, oh my gosh, labor is going to be the worst thing possible, and I'm instantly going in there having drugs. You don't know. You do not know, because you haven't even prepared yourself. You haven't been doing prenatal yoga. You haven't toned your uterus. You have not done all of these things that you should do before you go into labor. So yes, labor is going to be the worst thing because you've already mentally put that into your mind, which goes into a topic that I'm going to talk about soon, which is pain and suffering. Pain versus suffering. There's a difference between pain versus suffering. And I'm not going to tell no more because I got to put that into my next video. But we going to get into it.